Freaky Friday is intended for adults and is a show featuring adult conversations. Topics may vary, but are focused on human sexuality, fetish, and topics of intimate nature. Some may feel uncomfortable watching this show, and some topics may take you out of your comfort zone. We encourage everyone to stay and learn, as we hope this is an educational show, but stress that viewer discretion is advised. And if a topic makes you feel uncomfortable, please do not continue watching. Welcome to Freaky Friday. Welcome to Freaky Friday, where we dare to talk about taboo topics like fetish, bondage, sex, vibrators, and more. This isn't your dad's Friday night programming, but your mom loves it. Welcome to Freaky Friday, hosted by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, uncanny advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. Also the giver of free hugs and spends. Everyone watching this program will get virtual free hugs and spends. It's time to get on with the show. Welcome to Freaky Friday. Music provided by the YouTube Audio Library. Produced by Silent Partner. Song name, Tied Up. Warning and disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this live feed are those of the guests, speakers, and or hosts, and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs, official policies, ethics, or positions of the content providers, advertisers, additional hosts, and or guests, hosting sites, groups, or entities attached to this programming. Viewer discretion is advised. I can't believe the show we're going to have today, after everything we've talked about, could be the one that pisses people off the most. Today, we're talking about Superman. One of the first pictures I ever taken in my life, I'm in a Superman t-shirt. This week, there was some news about Superman. But before we can get into it, we even have to talk about the insanity of the coverage of this news. So let's get right to it. You see those two people? They are both Superman right now in comics. That is Clark Kent and Jonathan Kent. Jonathan was aged up and made to look like an adult now. He is the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane. This week, this happened. DC came out with a comic book where, oh my goodness, the new Superman, the son of Clark Kent, not Clark Kent and Sons, and Lois Lane, will begin a romantic relationship with a male friend, and people got stupid. Honestly, I heard the news on the National Come Out Day. I was like, that's cool. There's not enough bisexual representation. And I had stuff to do with my son, so I didn't really pay attention to the internet. And the next morning, right after it happened, I started to see some of the reaction. Friends of mine, and upset, I went to Facebook, and I did an impromptu kind of pissed off video that is going to be the most of our show today, because this was as genuine and honest as it was going to get. So I'm going to share it with you now. Again, we have the warnings for a reason. But I do want to say this. If you're watching this show and you're not tolerant of other people and you think that you have a right to tell anyone what they're allowed to do with themselves outside of consent violation stuff or abuse, if they're not abusing someone and they're not violating someone's consent, then you have no right in anyone else's relationship. And if that's not okay with you, you are free to unfollow me and stop watching this program. Here is my candid remarks filmed live the morning where I saw people who I actually considered friends and people I once looked up to disappoint me. Never ceases to amaze me how much people want to give me reasons to unfriend them. And I don't do that knee-jerk reaction stuff, but like this Superman, after he came out as bisexual yesterday, it's very upsetting to me. You know, I have a lot of friends who are, well, I mean, they're across the board. And the fact that people are getting so mad because they've made a new character, let's not forget, this character is basically new out of the box. We really haven't dealt with this character a lot in the past. This is not a well-formed, pre-established character. But I have friends who are like, oh, like, I mean, it is just hate towards someone's sexuality. And I can understand the argument to a certain degree about changing a character's sexuality. And I do understand that, but I mean, even that, there's a bigger conversation that you can have, and you could talk about mirroring, and with someone hiding who they are, and even if the character felt like they had to be in the closet. But what strikes me as really painful to watch is the fact that there are so many people out there just so willing to tell others what they should and shouldn't do without realizing that you're talking about a human byproduct. Like, our sexuality is not a choice. It's a byproduct of us being human. We don't always choose our sexuality. What do I mean by we don't always choose? There are some people out there who choose not to act on their sexuality. They don't get to choose who they're attracted to, but they do get to choose what they do with it. I'm not judging anyone any different way. It's their choice to be who they want to be. As long as they're not hurting anyone, I don't have a problem with it. So it kills me. It kills me that we're actually having this conversation, because you have all the nonsense themes coming out. Oh, the people are just trying to do something to be woke. Now here, I'm gonna give you a lesson right now. All right, here's your lesson. I want you to hear this and understand it. Right now, a lot of you are being pissed off because you feel like there's starting to be a lack of representation of you and your sexuality, or whatever about you is now a lack of. Understand that's how everyone else felt who hasn't been represented. You know what I'm saying? Like, right there, that's the moment. Understand that how you're feeling is how they have felt. And really go into your heart and your soul and realize that this is just about representing people in an honest fashion. There are people who are bisexual. I know them. Not all of them, of course, but I'm saying I've known about people who are bisexual. I have friends who are bisexual, and there is a lot of actual shame that goes with people now with bisexuality that no one's even that aware of. And there's and it's shame put on them by other people, and they don't have to, they shouldn't feel shameful for what they're feeling, obviously. But it's people in their mouths and telling other people how to live. This is a moment of representation, and if you don't like how it is, understand it. And I get I don't want my character being changed because that's how I liked my character. It's like if someone changed the flavor of ice cream. You'd probably be upset if you liked that flavor and you thought they messed with it. Whether they made it better or not, you might be upset that they did that. But they have to understand sometimes these are just parts of the ingredients you might not have just known was there. Especially when it comes to sexuality. You know, I understand gender swaps piss people off a little bit, but that also comes down to, well, it's not your character and they get to do whatever they want with it. Understand, comics have been around for a very long time. Some of these characters aren't even your characters. They're your grandparents' characters, if not your great-grandparents' characters. Look, you don't like something, don't buy it. But don't say negative, hateful things. Oh, there we go, we're back. Stop saying hateful, negative things on your page. You might not realize they're hateful, you might not even realize that they're negative, but you are saying things that are disgusting because you are trying to justify a reason that a character can't be bisexual. I want you to understand that. At the end of all of this, you're trying to justify why their sexuality is not good enough for you. That's what you're doing. Sexuality is a really simple thing, man. Sexuality is not your choice. That's it. That's how it plays out. Your sexuality is your business. Everyone else's sexuality is not their business. And if you can't read a story because they're into something that you're not, then you weren't really ever a fan of anything other than an echo chamber of things that you want to be just the way that you are. And that's kind of an ugly thing in itself. It's 2021 and we're still having this conversation.
And I'm very disappointed in a lot of you creators out there. I keep saying it. Everyone keeps talking about doing better. We can't even do better right now. We got to go back to being basic. Start being basic, man. Like, no one asked you to be bisexual by making a character bisexual. But you damn sure don't get to go around and say things that you are minimizing human beings because of their sexuality. It really pisses me off. I've been very disappointed over the last couple days. Well, I mean, it only came out yesterday, but even a couple weeks, because there's been other character things I've seen about sexuality, and here we are, 2021, and people are still feeling self-empowered to tell other people who they're allowed to like and not like, and act as if they can control sexuality. You don't get to control it, and if a creator wants to touch on a character's sexuality, it should not affect your sexuality. It does not mean you have to change who you are, and it doesn't even mean you have to change who that character is, because all you want to do is watch that character treat the person they're involved in, or involved with, I should say. The person they're involved with, treat them right and show love. That's all that really should matter in a relationship. Showing love, showing the fact that people can connect, showing the beauty of love, the beauty of a relationship. The two people involved shouldn't matter in the relationship. The love story should matter. And if you don't feel that way, you need to go to a corner and quietly process that, because you are judging people not on their actions, but on something that you might be uncomfortable with, and it's time that you unpack that. It's time that you understand that you're suffering from something. They're not suffering from anything. They're being themselves, and you're not giving them space to be that way. And that is a fucked up moment. Him coming out as bisexual, I thought that was cool. I thought it added depth to the character, and I thought that it was an interesting take, because that means that he can have interactions with many different characters. Someone's sexuality will never affect me unless I want to date them. And then all I care about their sexuality would be that I am someone that they would want to date. That's it. And if they don't want to date me because I don't check a box for them, I walk away. I don't treat them nasty. I don't do anything. I don't judge them. Life's about connecting with people, finding what works. It's messy nowadays as it is. Dating's not easy. Stop making it harder on other people just because you think you get to decide about their lifestyle choices, because it's not a lifestyle choice. Stop calling it that. It is something that they never chose. They were born that way. And support them, especially the real people in your life, because you dumb idiots don't understand, who are being negative right now, that there's someone on your friends list who's friends with you that you're literally breaking their fucking heart right now by posting what you're posting. Like I said, before we can do better, we got to be basic. Very disappointed. So disappointed by so many of you. Stop telling people who to be, and stop deciding what is creative and not. The creator, the writer of the book, they get to make the decision. The owner of the IP gets to make the decision. All you get to choose is if you're going to buy that book or not. And if you're not going to buy a book because Superman, right? Superman is kissing a male character, then you're fucked up. It is just what it is, in my opinion. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to unfriend you or anything like that, because here's the truth. I think having a friend like me to call you out on it is probably very good for you. And maybe I can make you see that how you treat a person and how you...
At that point, the video had cut out. I'd hit a no service zone. I'd said how you love a person should matter more than anything else. And I think the the best way, the only way to end this video tonight and to really show how I feel is to simply do this. I stand with Superman. I hope you guys join me in standing with him too. That's it for this week's show. Check us out, comicsunleashed.com. We'll see you next week. Same kinky time, same fetish-friendly channels. We'll see you next week. And make sure to check out the TikTok on Mr. erSiN for more information about my thoughts on it, as I even did a TikTok with it. All right, guys. I'll see you next week, hopefully, with a happier topic than more standard closed-minded hatred. Go out there and hug someone you know who's struggling. Let's make the world better by starting on basic stuff. And stand with me as we stand with Superman.